All right, you want to just hit record and just do the shit?
Sure, why not? Ready?
Yep, count it down.
Coming in 3, 2.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
Who gives a fuck? I don't care if you personally kick Candace Owens and her stanky
cray.
No good thing starts with, I was thinking about my ex.
He ain't learned his lesson. That's a brother ain't gonna learn shit.
I know this is gonna be unpopular, and I don't care.
Let's keep this shit funky.
What's happening? What's crackulating? What's unpopping, good people? Welcome to Unpopin Show, home of unpopular opinions. I am T Storm, and as always, joined by my brother, my partner in crime, DJ Mike Swift.
What is happening? What's going on? I apologize in advance for everybody checking it out on YouTube because I got like the red eyes. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. It's all good though.
You sure that's not the Instagram high app, the high filter? You seen that?
I have not seen that.
Oh my goodness, it is the silliest thing. There's a filter that gives you watery red eyes. And
who invented it? Snoop Dogg?
Right.
Him and Willie Nelson went in and put that app together.
It was like, yeah, this'll work now. Now everybody smoke some. Nah, the silliest thing. Any case, welcome to the show, y'all. We appreciate y'all following and running with us on this unpopping journey. It's a bunch of folks that subscribed. Can we shout them out real quick? Because I'm really happy that they did. Shout out to Arnell Smith, also Mark Aziz, Olanji Mason, Brian Robinson, Miss Ashley, Juanita Whiteside, Natasha Corbett. That's my trainer. What up, Tosh? Tiffany Diamond, and who else? There's Jess Tip. Is that just the tip? I'm not. That's what I read.
You're gonna hear some black,
but we appreciate you. Thank you.
So are those folks from the YouTube side subscribe?
That's from YouTube. Yeah, that's from YouTube all the way from February till now. There was an interesting comment.
I was just about to pull it up. I think you're about to talk about the comment that I was just searching to pull up. But please, by all means, go ahead. Because I thought it was hilarious.
It's about the numbers, right?
Yep.
That was okay. I can't pronounce this person's name. Talisman 63, whatever. Thank you for checking this out. Thank you for taking time to write a comment, as silly as it may be. So it's on our older video where we were talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. We did that last year, like summertime.
Yeah.
I believe it was, right when she, right when the controversy had just hit, and she ran her best, and her best just wasn't good enough. Right?
All right, James Ingram.
I'm just saying. It felt poetic for a second there. I just wanted to be, you know what I mean? And, not taking anything away from her. If you get a second, if you haven't seen her already, go back and pull up the Sha'Carri Richardson. You see what we're talking about, because it's hilarious, all the things that were happening in the video. And out of all the things happening in the video, this person put a comment that said, and I quote, "Only 4,068 views and 57 likes, LOL. You'd be better off talking about Melania Trump, he."
Now, listen.
Trump is the bad president.
Anytime that comes out of my mouth, I have to preference that. Any case.
In the wonderful world of YouTube views, 4,000 views is not a lot of views, right? 57 comments is not a lot of comments. And I will say for the record right now, that is not why we do this, right?
Right.
We are not clout chasing. We are not doing it for that reason. Now, if it grows, that's wonderful, right? It's great. We can get to a monetization point, all that wonderful stuff. Mm-hmm. But I find it very interesting that the person who left said comment has his mama and his daddy signed up to subscribe to his page.
Yeah. My reply, and I think I'm gonna do an album, in the likes of Two Live Crew, as petty as I want to be. I said I'd rather have that than the 2 subscribers. So in any case, I still appreciate the comment.
I do
you
too.
Took time to write. You took time to write and say something. Thank you.
Look, and in all fairness, because I didn't switch. In all fairness, he has a number of views on the videos that he posts on his page.
Okay. Excellent.
However, it's all music from somebody else.
It's not original content. Okay. Well, then there's that. But what's originality these days? What's original content? Just matter of fact, what you should do is just take our content and lip sync on TikTok and Instagram, and I bet you it'll go viral.
I tell you what, I would love to see that done. I really would. And they just change the words. Our mouths are moving and they're saying something completely different. Oh, I would love to see that.
That could be. I was just saying actually just the mouth, just the shit that we saying, but do that too.
That would be fantastic. You could make us say all kinds of crazy stuff.
There's yeah. I would like to hear what accent comes out of my mouth. Mike got a promotion, so there's some jokes that I can't crack anymore. So I'm gonna just leave that resting.
Yeah, and I laughed. I laughed at the joke that I didn't tell. It was there. It was so obvious, and I was like, nope, can't say that anymore. My golden handcuffs have turned into golden shackles.
Yes,
all across the board. So there are a lot of things I can't.
Mike won't be able to crack many of the jokes that he would like to. I won't do as hard, but I'm still going hard. So in any case, in that light, and with that in mind, Kanye West, since we did the last show we did, they weren't actually divorced as of yet. A bunch of shit has happened. You've probably already heard about now. He's made these threats and dropped lyrics and songs about Pete Davidson and did a video where he buries him alive and grows roses out of his head like a cartoon grows. It's hilarious and threatening and pretty serious. But DL Hughley said something that I agree with. Kanye is basically in full view stalking Kim Kardashian. It's not cute. It's not funny. And as he said, he's like, if it was his relative, his daughter, or whatever, he'd do something about it. But in any case, we'll leave that alone.
Look, I do want to touch on that a little bit. It's a show that I watch on YouTube. The Lapeef Let's Talk show. They do multiple shows, but they do a Thursday night live. I don't watch them live because they'd be on there like 3 hours, and I'm sorry, I just don't have 3 hours of my life to sit and watch. So I catch them in the replay and in clips, and they were actually talking about this, and the question had come up: is he trying to get his wife back? And there was a lot of debate about it, and saying, this isn't what he's doing isn't right or whatever. Look, I agree that his methodology is questionable. Right? Like, it's not the way to go about it, right?
Yeah. Actually, the absolute worst way to go about it.
Yes, agreed. But I do think he wants his wife back. Or not even his wife. I think he wants his family back. And I think what's happening is in the conversation, a lot of people are just saying, oh, he wants Kim back. He wants Kim back. No, I think he wants the nuclear family image that, being in the house with his kids, being in the house with his wife. I think he wants that back. And I'll say this, from someone who had it and lost it, the compulsion to go hard after it and really try to make it work and figure it out, that's a real thing, man. It is a real thing. Now, I don't support how he's going about it, but I understand where he's coming from.
I think it's there's part of me that wants to agree with you. But as I've stated previously, I'm gonna keep the same energy. I got a problem with Kanye because of all that he has done up till now in recent history, including starting with and more than slavery was a choice. Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves; she just brought them to work for other white people. You know, stuff like that. It's embarrassing. It's problematic, and.
If this were a court law, this would be where I would say, objection, Your Honor, introducing prior bad acts.
In layman terms, Your Honor, he keep bringing up old shit. What that got to do with now? Your Honor, it lends to character. So,
fair retort.
Thank you. I've had my fair share of court. Let's say so. So there's a headline. Kanye writes dark poems referencing divorce from Kim Kardashian and being dead. Now that's serious. That's cry for help if that's what it is. I hadn't read the whole story, but I looked down and I found a couple of lines where he says. Divorce, and it's a big, in big bold red letters, divorce, and then it's divorce feels like is blah 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 blah. So here's three of them. Divorce feels like full blown COVID. Divorce feels like your soul was dragged over coals. Divorce feels like your kids were snatched out of your control. I can feel for him a little bit, but I think what he's really feeling is divorce feels like Pete Davidson is doing the name that Kanye calls him to his ex-wife. Give you a second to think about that. Rhymes with Pete. Lil Jon had a hit song. Get it yet? Oh, you get it. So that's what's really going on in his head. He's calling Pete Skeet, and Pete Davis is like, "Yup, Skeet, 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 mother sucker." He's been going hard at Pete Davidson. Now, again, I feel for Kanye to a certain degree, but bringing up old shit, I came up with what I call the Pete Davidson playlist. Things that he wouldn't necessarily say because it wouldn't be cool, and Kim Kardashian would be like, "What are you doing, dude?" So instead of Pete saying it, I'll say it. Right after the divorce, I bet you Pete was playing "I Love Your Girl" by The Dream.
And didn't wait. Just
listen through the whole lyrics, and you get to the part where you know Kim Kardashian actually probably said, "What'd you say, Mike?"
So, I didn't read the story. I saw the story, and I just I saw it and went like, "Ugh, who cares?" Didn't like. So she recently got the same thing that Dre had gotten granted by the court before.
Correct.
The divorce was final, and that's like legally single, right?
Yes, got her name. She strips West off of her name. She is now just Kim Kardashian. Even though I don't recall people calling her Kardashian West so much. It's still always been Kardashian. But
yeah, she was a brand. So, but so that happened, and then. And this is the story where I went, whatever. Kodak Black decided to shoot his shot at Kim Kardashian. And
yes, Kodak, do that.
But all I could think was, why? Like, I don't understand it, right? She is an attractive woman. She really is, right? I give her that. Hats off to her for that. But I don't understand all of the hoopla as a guy, well, I'm no longer looking, but if I put my mind back 3 years ago and I put myself in the mind of where I was 3 years ago, I would be nervous about trying to settle down with a woman who's been divorced 3 times and who has a...
Has it been 3 times?
Yeah, I think she's divorced 3 times. I think this will make the 3rd.
Oh. Well, this one lasted, this one lasted an eternity in Hollywood standards.
Yeah, but she got a psycho ex-husband. I mean, like, nope. That he is rich and nuts. No, thank you. I'm out. Can't do it. I don't care how pretty you are. I don't need them problems.
Okay, so I think he's not really doing it expecting her to say, oh yeah, give her some thought. I think he's just being a creep and maybe just being funny about it. He went after Nipsey Hussle's ex-girl. I mean, not ex-girl. When Nipsey Hussle passed away, he took he took a shot at what's her name? Oh my gosh. Girl. What was her name? The actress. I look crazy. Lauren London.
Right. Let's see if we can.
That's her name.
Since we couldn't remember her name, let's see if we can get a photo.
Yeah. Yeah, he famously went after Lauren London. You know what I mean? And then, a bunch of people was like, dude, that's so inappropriate and so disrespectful. The brother just passed away. How you know what I mean? So I don't think Kodak is really wrapped that tight in the first place. So that's a whole nother thing. I think really he might be a crack baby, but you know what I'm saying? That generation of crack baby. But in any case, not to say that his mom was on crack. I don't know. I'm just saying he's in that silly generation. So in any case.
But that's I got up now a photo of the lovely couple. I will say this. Going after her after he dies is immediately after he passes is in poor taste. However, I understand. I wouldn't do it.
No, foul.
But
foul.
I'm looking at her.
Yeah.
I get it.
She's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. Stunning. But yeah, no. But in any case, as far as, Kardashian, him going after Kardashian, I think it's just him taking a shot, just possibly just to be funny about it. And if she happened to raise an eyebrow, plus win-win.
Was it? I was only kidding, unless you're going to do it.
Right. Right. I mean, to his credit, if Pete Davidson got her.
Oh, that hurts.
Anything is possible.
Pete seems like
say Henny.
Pete seems like a decent guy. I think I told you earlier in the week, I've been watching older episodes of Jeff Ross's comedy roast battle. Roast Battle, I think is the name of the show. It's on Comedy Central, and it's a roasting competition, and Pete was like one of the judges on one of the episodes, and the comedians were going at him, and he had some barbs to shoot back. So he seems like a decent enough guy. I think another story was out there where he got on Instagram. It was only on Instagram for like a month, and after all of this mess from Kanye, he was like, yeah, I'm out, and he deleted his Instagram.
Also on the Pete Davidson soundtrack. That's Pete Davidson saying this. He played that night when when the divorce was finalized. That's just, I'm thinking.
For everybody watching on YouTube, it was Lauryn Hill's Just Lost One.
Right, because
I ain't playing with YouTube. I ain't playing with YouTube.
Got you. So far, so that's I love your girl. for those who are keeping count. I Love Your Girl, The Dream. Lauryn Hill, Lost Ones. Stay tuned for the third joint. I have no idea. I'm just making shit up as we go. What else is in the news this week?
So one of the things that I like to do on this show, I like to not tell T what I'm going to show him, read to him, present to him, because I like his genuine reactions. They're hilarious to me. For everybody listening over on Spotify and Amazon and all of that stuff, you can't see his faces. I encourage you to go over to YouTube. You are missing a crucial part of the show.
I think Tahir has a quote.
I don't like you.
Okay. Proceed.
So I'm going to read from a story from the New York Post.
Okay.
And I am going to have to change some of the language to make it YouTube friendly.
Okay. Oh boy.
This is a real story. I'm not making this up.
All right. I'm listening.
All right. So, headline reads: ex-teacher who fed students semen-laced cupcakes sentenced to 41 years in prison. Let's get into the story. A twisted
laced cupcakes?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it gets better.
Okay. All right.
A twisted
All right.
Louisiana.
I signed up for this.
A twisted Louisiana ex-teacher who admitted to giving her students cupcakes laced with her husband's fluids has been sentenced to 41 years in prison.
Jeez.
Her name, Cynthia Perkins, 36, was sentenced Friday. This was a few days ago after pleading guilty to second-degree forcible intimate acts on another individual, production of young person intimate videos, and conspiracy of mingling harmful substances.
Yeah, that conspiracy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. It's been a long day.
It's okay. I want to know more about this conspiracy. Continue.
She has no possibility of parole for 40 years.
On the last year, she can get.
She can't get out until she's 77. 76? 76? Nah. 77?
Baby, all right, we'll let you go now. You real. You way up there now. That's
it gets better.
What possess? There's more? Oh God.
But wait,
Continue.
There's more. Hold on. Let me find a lovely photo of Miss Perkins that I can put up as we have this discussion. And
does she? What is her name again?
Miss Perkins. Hello, Miss Perkins. OBS is warning me that it's time to do another update. I thought I did that already. All right. And let's go full on Miss Perkins.
It's a mugshot?
Yeah, it's a mugshot. She's actually not an unattractive lady. She's not an unattractive lady.
Okay, that's being generous.
I mean,
her jawline says criminal.
Her jawline says Neanderthal.
Right. The dark circles around her eyes says she has no soul. So if you wonder, what does a person look like that would do something like this? And there we have it. Oh. And then her eyebrows, she got 2 crooked apostrophes for eyebrows.
That's hilarious. Let's go back up. Let's bring that back up. So, because now we're talking about it and I took it down. So
and did her husband go down with her, right?
Well, let's continue. Perkins had faced 72 charges of various intimate act crimes.
Lewd lewd act, intimate acts, disgusting shit. How about
they're not lewd. They're just the intimate ones. 68 of which were dropped in her plea agreement. They dropped 68 charges, and she still got 40 years without
41
parole.
years. 40 years. On the 40th year, you can get a parole.
Now this is where it gets real cold. This is where red pill dudes is like, as part of the deal, she agreed to testify against her husband, Dennis Perkins, a former sheriff's deputy who is facing 150 criminal charges, many of which are also intimate act crimes. Let's pop up a picture of the lovely couple. Let's do that.
Yeah, he looks like a Neanderthal.
He looks scary.
He looks like a if Homer Simpson.
If Homer Simpson worked out.
If he were a depraved, like, no soul, and yeah, that's.
It looked like if Homer Simpson went to Gold's Gym for a little while. No, but look, the most disturbing part about this so far to me is that he was a sheriff's deputy.
Yeah.
He was a sheriff's deputy. Yes.
Oh, dang.
At the time, he was a sheriff's deputy.
What? Okay.
So the couple were arrested back in 2019 after they allegedly intimate act harmed a minor together, among other crimes. Perkins filed for divorce from her husband following their arrest and alleged that Dennis had manipulated her into committing the crimes.
Okay.
So she went, he made me do it. That was her defense.
Listen, when you facing 1,000 years in prison, it don't matter at that point. Snitching, or whatever you want to call it, you want to chop off sometime, it don't even matter. I don't think she's going to be around for 41 years. I think, because there's a code in prison. I think somebody will beat her up a couple of times. This stuff you did to them kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, wow.
She filmed him supplying the liquid for the cupcakes.
Stop. Okay.
It was mixed in the cupcakes and energy drinks that she served to the children.
Okay, please. That doesn't tap out.
She resigned from her job the day after she was arrested. He was fired from his deputy role. Now, this I thought was absolutely hilarious. Her attorney, Paul Woody Scott, said his client looks forward to testifying against her husband, whose trial is expected to begin in May. So they got her already. He hasn't gone to trial yet. His trial starts in May. He's toast. She's been convicted, and she's going to testify against him. And they're divorced. So, and I don't know if this is a federal thing or if it's a state by state thing where you can't be compelled to testify against your spouse. Well, she divorced him, so she can testify against him. I think she divorced him. She laid the groundwork. Her quote, he is the real, or the quote from the attorney, he is the real monster. That's what she wants to make clear. It's not about shifting blame. She took responsibility today. I mean, that's what she did, but she looks forward going after the real monster. I think she probably, that's why those 68 counts got dropped, because they want to really nail that sheriff's deputy. They want to nail his ass to the wall.
Yeah, he should get more time because he was a deputy, a sheriff. That's all kinds of messed up. That's all kinds of messed up. I can't even put it into words. But one comes to mind.
Yeah. What would make a person say, this is something that I want to do? Right? Like,
okay. And there is no explaining. You can't,
rationalize, justify.
You can't rationalize crazy. That's just crazy. That's mental illness at its core, like, or just evil, or both. Another disgusting act comes to mind that happened here in New York City. There was a sister sitting on the platform waiting for a train, and a gentleman, I'm being nice by calling him a gentleman, walks up to close, towards her, takes a bag of feces and smashes it in her face and the back of her head, and yeah.
Why?
It's on video, and it's on video.
I would love to show it, but I'm sure YouTube would nail us for that too.
Yeah,
just
you
go
don't
find
need to
it
see
on your own. Why did he know her?
No, he just a random walk up and smash, pull in her face. I have no jokes for that. That's just disgusting. And they did catch him. It took him maybe about a week or so. They caught the guy. They said he had been arrested a bunch of times. Had some, mental illness, but that's not going to stop you from doing prison time. People are really out of their minds. I think.
Look,
I think. I think everyone is affected, and I hate to blame it on COVID because that's beyond just COVID. But people that were suffering from mental illness got worse during isolation these last 2.5, 3 years. Not being, and we're seeing the evidence of it coming to the headlines. There was a woman. I mean, this is just in New York City. There was a woman that timed it and shoved another woman into an oncoming train. Thank God she missed falling off the platform and just kind of bounced off the front of the train.
I saw that video, actually.
Yeah.
I saw that video. My heart stopped.
They caught her. They caught that woman as well. But that's mental illness. That's just, you can't rationalize. Why would a person do it? There is no rationalize. There is no making sense of it. That's just terrible.
Can we go back a little bit to the sure. Guy with the bag of poo?
Poo. Yeah.
Look, it bothers me that happened to her, right? Because that's outside of it being disgusting, it's assault and it's dangerous, right? Like you could get very ill from that. The other part that really bothers me, there are men who are actively trying to change the image that men have, right? So what happens is you will have one bad actor do something like that, and then that guy will get conflated with all men, right? We already suffer from a kind of a bad marketing image just in general as men, as just because we exist, we are dangerous.
Right.
So when guys like that, whether it's mental health issues or not, when they do that, it sets us back and it frustrates the hell out of me. It really does.
Yeah. Staying on the subject of mental illness, and another teacher. I can't pronounce his last name. Michael Hosinski, 61, Oscolia, Indiana. Finally taken into custody, but there was a video that was buzzing for a couple of weeks of there was a student walking in the hallway, and it's on video. Teacher walks up behind him, grabs him, pushes him up against the wall, and then strikes him with his hand. Like, hits the kid. The kid hits his head in the wall. He drops. Another faculty member comes out. The teacher says something to him, and the kid is, rolling around on the floor, and he bolted. They allowed that teacher to retire. But he was just arrested and taken into custody last week, Thursday, I believe it was.
How long was it before they arrested him for that?
I believe more than a week. But the fact that they allowed him to early retire, I'm like, what? Really?
The fact that kid's parents allowed him to live.
Yeah. Let me get it right. Let me make sure, because I want to make sure I got the facts right. He confronted the student about their attire. The kid had on a hoodie. A verbal exchange culminated with an open-handed slap. The district said the student suffered visible injuries. Video of the incident appears to show Hazeski grabbing the student by their backpack before shoving him against the wall and then slapping the student.
I'm very curious what that kid said to him.
He was walking. Whatever he said, he said it and walked away.
He said, "Hey,
it's not like he was any. It's not like
hey, son, take that hoodie off." He looked at him and said, "That's what I told your mama." So he had to say something crazy to him.
Your wife liked it. Oh, you son of a! Come here! Don't walk away from me, pop. Yeah. It's no justification for that. No matter what he did.
Not at all.
And that kid's gonna get paid on top of that.
I mean, he would have to sue the city because you can't squeeze blood from a turnip.
Oh no, he will, because he was a teacher at the time. It's not like it was just a random person. He represented the school. So
fair enough.
Pay me.
Run me my money.
Run me my chips. ¿De dónde mi dinero?
I'm mad that you know how to say that in another language.
Yes, absolutely.
I absolutely love Kaylee's influence on you.
Oh, trust me when I say I know all the bad words. All the cuss words possible. I learned that first. And I told Kaylee, my wife Kaylee, who is Honduran, for those who are just not familiar with my family dynamic, my wife speaks fluent Spanish. And for the most part, refuses to teach me Spanish. I just pick up. I just pick up on stuff. And most of the time when she spoke Spanish to me is when she was cussing me out. And so I learned all the cuss words.
Then you learned how to say your mama.
Tu mama, tu madre. So all of the bad words possible. And so I said, when we do go to Honduras, first thing out my mouth is I'm running down or miel, or everything possible, everything nasty. I'm gonna say it in Spanish and say that's what she told me to say. Kelly told me to say that, and have the family look at me like, what is he talking about?
My wife had said.
What she had said was. Oh man, there was another story. I don't even want to touch it. I you know what? I'm gonna skip that one. There's a clip of Smokey Robinson. We cracked on Smokey Robinson early in early on.
Listen, I don't know what show. Was that year one? Was that like?
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to go back and watch that episode as soon as you can, because some of those older episodes are gonna start disappearing from YouTube. But you've got to you've got to see the episode where he was roasting Smokey. It was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, and I love Smokey, but he deserved to be roasted for that. But anyway,
yeah, well, yes, he did, and it was because of a song, and I'll just say that. But there's a clip of him. Hang on, I'm gonna find it real quick. Of him talking about resenting being called an African American.
Okay,
and I'm curious to get your take on it. Assuming I can find it. The headline says Smokey Robinson resents being called an African American. Quote, I call myself I consider myself to be a Black American. And he gets into it. Hang on.
I'm a person, I resent being called an African American. I really do. Now, I've traveled all over the world, and Africa is one of the few places in the world that I've never been yet, okay? But I think that when you do that, you're disclaiming all the things, all the contributions that Black people have made to America. You see, I consider myself to be a Black American, and I enjoy being called Black. And Black has been so negativized as a color down throughout history by those who wanted to negativize it. And so it spilled over into the Black community, into the Black people. And even Black people back in the day calling each other Black was a sign for a fight or something like that, because it had been so negativized, like Black was just so negative. So I resent being called an African American, because Black people have contributed so much to the development of the United States of America.
What are your thoughts on that? I had mixed feelings about it now, and it took me a second to really kind of just to sit on it for a second, but I'm curious to hear what how do you feel about that?
Okay. Wow. All right. So I understand his reasoning. I think outside of the use of the word negativize, that's right up there with conspiracy. You got to be able to make fun of yourself, people.
Absolutely.
Outside of that, I get his why. However, I personally have never particularly liked, and even though I know I do it, it's kind of how people communicate, but I've never really liked referring to people as a color, right? I feel like reducing a person to a color is very, very minimizing, right? So to say African-American or African or Italian-American acknowledges the whole, well, not the whole, but it acknowledges who you are, right? Historically, culturally, and with your ancestors. So I prefer those types of labels, if we have to use labels, and I think labels in general are important. I prefer those types of labels over Black, white. Well, actually, when you think about it, those are really kind of the only ones that are interchangeable with
there's Black, white, and then there's brown. Well, then there's brown, which also includes Latino and Indian. That's it. And then everything else is, so it seems like everything else is Italian or, Asian, or Korean, or, from whatever country, right?
Well,
because
race is not nationality. Right. You could say Black, that could be Jamaican, that could be Haitian, that could be multiple places in Africa, that could be America, that could be some parts of South America. Right. It can be, it's just a color. That's not a nationality.
Yes. And so I read something, it was in a comment, and it made me think about it. Every African American is not Black, and every Black is not African American.
And every African ain't Black.
Right. There are also white Africans.
Yep. My first French teacher,
or Caucasian Africans, or European. Do you say Caucasian? Do you say European? What's the proper etiquette here?
I guess if you go with nationalities, it would be European African, right? Because the continent of their ancestry is likely Europe, as they were, colonizing other parts of the world. So the technical would probably be European African.
Okay. A joke popped in my head.
Thank God it didn't pop out your mouth.
I was holding on to that one as I come back. No, that's the 5% in the back of my mind was like, I know what to call them. So, it's not. Let's not.
Oh God. Oh God. I know exactly
My
what
brother,
that joke
I know
would
what
have
to
been.
call him. My brother. He's called. So, I think he has interesting points, and I'm still debating it with myself. Like I understand what he meant. And yeah, he's right. He has a great point that black has been, made to be negativized, to use the word they use. Bad guys wear black. It was Black Monday. It was a dark day. Paul Mooney has a wonderful bit on this. Look it up. I don't want to mess up the joke. So in that, and I do it. It's funny. I do it with my 5-year-old to take the stigma away from black being negative, from anybody saying and him feeling some kind of way, feeling like it's negative. I had a whole conversation with him about, do you know any black people? Because I hadn't, my life with him now is different than it was with my older sons. You know what I mean? We were around more people that looked like us. The neighborhood where we live now is not as many. The school that he's in now is not as many. And so I find myself reinforcing our identity and, inserting pride in it. So we have whole jam sessions when we, on the way to school. I'm playing positive music on the way there. James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Nas, I know I can do what I want to do. If I work out ahead, I'll be where I want to be. I'm messing up the lyrics now, but you know what I mean. Different positive messages to start your day, right? Because there's so much, that could come back at you, from a 5-year-old's perspective. You may not know how to deal with it as of yet. So in any case, so I get what he's saying on that, but it doesn't, at the end of the day, my ancestors are African. I can't tell you exactly where in Africa though. I have to do a deep dive at some point and figure that out, but they're from the continent. And so that's important to hold on to, I believe. You know what I mean? Something. So I guess.
I mean, I agree.
I think.
I agree. I just. And I was about to say, it's 2022. I hate when people do that. I hate when people assign progress to a year. Like 365 days happen and then we take a big step forward. Right? No. But
right.
In this day and age of the debatable success of the Great American Experiment, a time when, my children's friends group looks like the UN, it just seems to go backwards or go in the wrong direction to associate yourself as a color.
You think it's in the wrong direction?
Yeah, to minimize your experience, your ancestry, and your culture, and who you are as an individual, to reduce that to a color. It just seems to me to be going in the wrong direction. But look, I'm open to having my mind changed about it. But
I'm still debating the N word within myself. You know what I mean? Because there's some belief that word actually means something else than what it was deemed to be.
There's a book that I read several years ago, and I have the book. It is the N-word. That's not the title. It's the actual word. The Strange Career of a Troublesome Word by Randall Kennedy. It's a short read, but it's a very interesting read. I encourage everybody to read that book. you saying that made me think about that book. I let somebody borrow it. Actually, and the irony is I got turned on to that book by a friend of mine, a Korean friend of mine, who had read it. And I think she heard me use the word and was like, you should read this book. And I was like, okay. And I borrowed it from her, read it, and then bought it. And somebody borrowed it from me. And I was like, yo, N-word, when I'm gonna get my book back? I just immediately deleted all the lessons that I had learned from said book and was like, yo, when am I gonna get my book back? But no, anyway.
I think this warrants there's two bits that comes to mind. There was one that was real life. It was a spelling bee, and the word was spelled. Well, now I got to play it because I'm ruining it. There's two bits. I think I can get away with the spelling bee one. And it's a young Caucasian kid, and he was presented.
Negus.
Negus. What is the language of origin?
Ethiopian to Amharic.
What is the definition?
A king. It's used as a title of the sovereign of Ethiopia. Negus.
Negus. Could you use it in a sentence?
The Negus ruled Ethiopia until the coup of 1974.
Negus.
And the look on his face is priceless. He's figuring it out. He's looking at this board, looking around the room.
That poor kid, they set him up for failure.
Could you repeat the definition?
Yeah, so the definition one more time.
king. It's used as a title of the sovereign of Ethiopia. Negus.
They know they ain't right.
I'm giving it real thought.
Negus.
And did you say the word loudly for the judges?
Negus.
One more time?
Negus.
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 Oh my God.
Negus. Negus. Negus.
Absolutely stunned, but he'll take it. Again, when in doubt,
They are wrong. They are wrong for doing that to that boy. They are so wrong. And then that lady was like, say it again. Say it
Could you say the
louder.
word, please?
One more time.
One more time.
Oh my God, that was funny. Oh.
Yeah. I'll take this time. I think we can end it here.
Shout out to all my niggas.
Yes. Yes.
All my kings.
Word. All right, man. Yo, we appreciate you watching. Appreciate you listening. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on all socials at Unpopin Show. Or I am DJ Mike Swift and at the Real Tea Storm. You ain't gonna remember all that. Just look down in the description and you can get to us. Or go to our website, unpopinshow.com. In the words of the 10-year-old spelling bee, peace, my niggas.